This past month has been one of the most testing months, I think, as a co-parent, as me, as an individual, and juggling work and a business. But we're through the end of it. It is January the 2nd and everybody has peace and harmony. Welcome back to another episode of the Co-Parent Diaries. This is very much a life lately, little update type video episode to really bring you up to speed with things, because it has been wild. The last 4 weeks, so pretty much the whole of December, was just a complete write-off. I didn't do any podcast episodes. I, to be honest, was in total survival mode. We kicked off with the entire family getting gastro. Started off with one child. She vomited in the night and I was like, oh, this doesn't look good. 2 days later, me and my oldest got it. And so I was looking after her and trying to look after myself. And then the day after that, my partner got it. And it was just, honestly, I've never had gastro before. We've never had something go through the entire family that quick before either. It was around, like there was lots of cases at the school and so on and so forth, but I was absolutely wrecked. It really wiped me out. And I almost wish I'd got it before the kids so I could have understood more what they were going through, because my youngest, bless her, just wanted to drink so much water, obviously because she was so thirsty and dehydrated. But the more water she drank, the more she threw up. And it was just constant. I was trying to get her to only have a little sip and have a big break. But when I got it and I was vomiting everywhere, I also was like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty. I just want to drink. Oh, I can't do that because I could just keep throwing it up. It was awful. And it was the first time I had to navigate with my co-parent, like, what do we do in this situation? Because obviously gastro is very, very contagious, highly contagious. And sending the kids to his house then puts him, his partner, and his partner's kids at risk. But at the same time, it's not like they go there every weekend, it's an entire week. So it was this thing of like, what do we do in this situation? By the time the Friday changeover came around, one child was out of the 48-hour contagious window. She was all good. One kid was only needed another 24 hours. But I was also sick. My partner was sick and we were so depleted, which is not an excuse, by the way. There is not a, I'm really sick, you need to look after the kids, because if we were together, I would have had to look after them anyway. If he wasn't around, I'd still have to look after them. I have battled severe pneumonia while looking after the kids by myself. We can do some gastro. But I just called Dad and I was like, hey, here's the situation. One child's good, one child is no longer vomiting. She's eating, she's got her energy back, she's fine, but she's only 24 hours symptom free. And it was just like, what do you want to do? And he was like, don't worry, I've got somewhere to stay. I'm going to take them there. I'm going to stay there for 24 hours, then I'll go home. And I was like, that's fair. I did definitely question myself after that, thinking, oh, should I just have kept them? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? But the situation was fine. None of his family got sick. So thankfully, we managed to contain it just into our house. But that wiped me out. That completely wiped me out. So after that, we had then the last week of school. And if anybody else, I don't know if this is just Australia specific, but the last week of school is chaotic. There is so much going on. And again, I really had to work with Dad every single day to manage appointments, things at school, school events, etc. And I remember last year that week gave me quite a lot of anxiety because I did have to arrange a lot with him. And it wasn't because I had to see him or that there was anything wrong. For some reason, it just gave me a lot of anxiety, and it gave me quite a bit of anxiety this year too. I think less so than the year before, but it was still there. So we had the schedule from Monday to Friday. There was awards ceremonies, there was nativity plays. My youngest Bella also broke her wrist. I thought I'd throw that in there too. She broke her wrist at Dad's and I had to take her to hospital. She got a cast on. So that was coming up to her final week with her cast on. So she had to go for another checkup, and there was just so much to juggle. Dad has also got a new job. He set up his own business, so he's very busy doing all of that. So we really had to just work together. And we basically split the appointments evenly, and we split the events evenly. He actually didn't end up coming to the nativity play for my youngest because he had so much work on that day. He could either do the nativity play or the arm appointment. And then that evening was the awards ceremony for my oldest. And so he was like, I'll do the arm appointment because it's later in the afternoon. I need to start work really early. And so I was like, fine, that's great because I won't miss the nativity. But I was also swamped with work, being the last week before we broke up for work too. And so I was like, I can't do the arm appointment and the nativity and the awards ceremony. It's too much. So it was well handled. It was a lot, but it all went fine. It was just so chaotic. Then I got the kids that Friday, so it was the last Friday of term. They actually broke up a bit later than usual. And then I took the girls away. So last year I did this myself. I just wanted to take my girls away by myself and just have some one-on-one time with them. I took them down to Bunbury. They loved it and they wanted to go again this year. And because the kids' school breaks up earlier than state schools, we could make the most out of it being off-peak still. So it wasn't too expensive, and I had a few benefits with G'day to utilise, so I absolutely did. That was so much fun. So I booked that time off work and we went away Sunday to Wednesday. We did lots of swimming. We did lots of out on our scooters. It was very hot, but it always is at that time of year. It was a yes holiday. Whatever the kids wanted to do, no problem. So it was McDonald's every night, which is fine because I couldn't be bothered to cook. And we went bowling and we went to Time Zone, and we just got to spend 3 days, just me and the two girls, having fun, making core memories, and I think it's so important to have that reconnection time and that one-on-one time, especially when you're a blended family. It's just, and a separated family. Sometimes you can just get caught up in the hustle and bustle of day to day and you don't really fully focus that one-on-one time. And I think as well, because I work from home is like work and life for me, and sometimes it's very hard to distinguish between the two. So getting out the house with them is so much fun. And then it was Christmas week. So we got back from our trip on the Wednesday. The girls went to Dad's on the Friday, and then I had that last weekend just before Christmas. My partner actually took us to Crown Towers on the Saturday night till Sunday. Never been to Crown Towers, so we just had a little staycation, which was stunning. It was so beautiful. I wish we'd been there longer. The pool was amazing. The frozen strawberry daiquiris were amazing. And then we came back on Sunday and just wrapped all the presents. Got all the presents wrapped, everything sorted. I had finished work that Friday, so I then had Monday, Tuesday to myself of last week to get all of my appointments done and everything else. It was like nails, got my lashes done, my brows done, my teeth. I had another tooth appointment. I caught up with a bunch of friends that I haven't seen in ages. And then it was Christmas. Then it was Christmas chaos. So the last 7 days has just been absolute chaos with Christmas. Back and forth from my house to Dad's house. Thank God we only live 5 minutes away from each other. It makes life so much easier. I think if we lived any further than 15-20 minutes, we just wouldn't be able to do what we do. We would not be able to have the flexibility that we actually have. So really, really grateful for that. And when my new house settles, if it settles, it's a 12-minute drive from here. So still nice and easy to get to. Christmas definitely felt different this year for me. And to be honest, I blocked it out a little bit. This year, my partner has had his kids, so they do alternate Christmases, whereas I do Christmas morning and the kids' dad does Christmas afternoon. So last year it was just me and my partner in the afternoon, no kids, and we could just relax and it was peaceful, and we went for a walk and I did Christmas lunch. This year we had his kids, and I was really excited to have Christmas, all of us together as a blended family. And it was one of the reasons why I asked my co-parent to have the girls again in the morning so we could all do it together. But this year it felt, for me, as it got closer to Christmas, very overstimulating. And I started to, I guess, not get as excited about Christmas as I was hoping to. The day turned out fine. The morning was great. It was awesome. All the kids had so much fun. They were playing with all their stuff. I was being as present as I could with the kids before they went to Dad's. It was 43 degrees here in Perth on Christmas Day, so it was stinking hot. But one thing, and look, I'm aware that this sounds so selfish when you say it out loud, but I'm here to be honest. It felt really strange being in my house with kids that weren't biologically mine for sitting at Christmas dinner and not having my kids around. It felt really strange. And obviously I love the kids to pieces, but it just felt strange. And maybe it felt strange because it was the first year. Or maybe it felt strange because it wasn't really the Christmas that I wanted to have. I don't really know, but it felt strange. So this year I just said to my partner, I don't want to cook Christmas dinner. I don't want to cook a full Christmas roast. Like, we do something else instead. And he said, look, we usually do cold ham, prawns, and like a bit of a picky dinner, but I'd really love if we could have Yorkshire puddings and stuffing. I was like, okay, cook the Yorkshire puddings and stuffing and pigs in blankets, but I'm not doing a full-blown turkey. So we sort of met halfway and we ate that, but honestly, because it was so hot, no one wanted to eat anything. It was just a bit of TV, and then I actually went and caught up with a friend. She co-parents too, 3 and 3, so she's 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off at work, and it was just nice to go catch up with her about the house. And then I had a phone call from my co-parent to say the kids wanted to come home, and so I went to pick them up. And then we just had an absolute crazy week. Took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, we took them swimming, to Dino Land, Adventure World, whatever it is. We went to so many parks, taught the kids how to ride a bike, which was so exciting. Yeah, it was wild. And then they actually have gone back to Dad's a day early, so I dropped them off yesterday. And look, to be completely honest, they wanted to go back to Dad's. They wanted to see Dad. They wanted to show him they could ride a bike. They wanted to go and play with some of the stuff they got from him for Christmas. I said to Dad, like, the girls want to come back to you early, is that okay? And he was like, yeah. And I said, and look, to be honest, I'm exhausted and I'm broke. Like, done so much, like really overcompensated for the fact that I've never really had a week off with my kids. Just me and them to just do stuff, and I didn't have to think about work. And I had sort of weeks off work, and it has been so good for me to just wind down, stop panicking, stop getting anxious. He was like, yeah, absolutely fine, drop them off. So I went and dropped them off yesterday. Ended up staying there actually for a couple of drinks and caught up with him and his partner's family. And it was just a really nice way to start the year. And it was with so much love and friendship and respect that I was like, this is exactly how I wanted to start this year, with peace and harmony, because that's what I want for my life. I just want a peaceful life. I just want peace. Like, I don't want drama. I don't want toxicity. I don't want to tread on eggshells. I don't want to panic and have anxiety. And so yesterday was great because I was like, yeah, starting strong, which is great. So that's my little wrap up. I'm now easing back into work life. So for the next 3 days is focusing on launching my new school platform called the Co-Parent Club. It is a space for co-parents, recently separated parents to come together and just be part of a positive and supportive community. It's like a club we never really thought we'd be a part of, but we are. I'm starting to populate in there like a bunch of resources for co-parents that I wish I had when I first started, and I sort of had to work it out for myself. So that's in there. I'm going to leave the link in the show notes. The Co-Parent Club, it's free, anyone can join, enjoy. I've also just launched the Co-Parent Blueprint, which is sort of like a step-by-step beginner type blueprint in if you're literally just about to go 50-50 co-parenting, or you're about to start co-parenting. Just, I guess, some guidelines and some blueprints on how to do it with peace and no lawyers and mediators, and just try and do it amicably together. I'm building a lot of things, also building up my YouTube channel, building up my podcast, building up my platforms. So it's really go. So it's almost a blessing that the kids went back to Dad's a day early, because it's just allowed me to get cracking today. And then I'm back to work on Monday, full steam ahead, full-time job, and also juggling all this. So yay, that is going to be so much fun. I just want to say thanks for joining me if you've joined me so far. Hi, give me a little comment and let me know sort of what your Christmas was like, what your New Year's has been like, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do together in the new year and this space that we are creating. Thanks, guys.